And they can't also take them to probably into social places because probably accessibility there is not easy. For instance, when I was coming up here, there was no ramp. I had to ask my friend and my colleague at work to help me get up here. So you see, many at times, the society ignores the things that can make it easy for me to access, or to communicate, or to even socialize. So when you keep a child with disability still in the dark, and they turn 21, they have never gone to church, they've never gone to school, you never take them to any restaurant, you never take them basically anywhere. And the only person who knows about them is probably your next door neighbor who sees you once in a while sneaking them out to make them stay out there to bask. And a while back I remember there was a time on TV was shown parents who had tied their disabled children to the trees. Do you remember that? You do remember. If you do remember, then those parents, it's not because they want to tie them there. At times they want to protect them. From who? From the society that does not understand this child. And at times you go to school and you say, let me also trace back. I run an organization for women and girls with disability. At times parents come to me, my colleague is also there. My parents come to me to ask, can you help get me a school for my child? And you ask them, have you tried 1, 2, 3? Then they tell you, the teachers there don't want to accept them. We have an array of disability. We have even some, I don't know in your classes whether you had these children who could never read anything. They would articulate words very well, but they could not read. You give them a task to read, they could not read. And so teachers decided they are not bright enough. Those children have a disability, okay? And what I know you don't know what it is, most of us don't, but they are dyslexic. We also have those who could read very well but could not do any figures. Those children have a disability. We also have children who cannot even control their bladder in class, so they cannot even focus on anything. Those are very many disabilities. So you find the teachers also deciding that this child, if you bring them here, they will actually, some even say they infect the other pupils. Because that teacher does not understand that disability is not a communicable disease. So, in a nutshell, the society still does not understand persons with disability. And when we come to the youth, I say these are children and they grow up. By the way, even when you have a disability, you grow up. You're born, you pass through all these stages, okay? You get to a stage where you want, if you're a girl, you also want to have a boyfriend. And if you're a lady now, grown up, ready for marriage, you want to have a husband. Because you pass through all these stages. And at times, the biggest impediment in your development is this society that does not understand persons with disability. In politics, I want to say politics with disabled persons. I vied for a seat some time back, and my opponent had only one thing to say, which also worked against her. She used to say, "Huyu ni mlemavu, ataendaje, atakimbiaje huko parliament akitakikana huko?" And so people told her, "Look, their cars." And I told her, "You mean you don't know their cars? You mean you don't know the other modes of ability, mobility?" So this is someone who still does not understand. And even our representation in parliament, I'll touch all these areas so that you understand, across. Our representations in parliament, and even the policies they're making, they say the youth, and then the disabled and the what community? They say the disabled community and the But you know, it is vulnerable. What do you call those ones? You know, they want to lump disability with so many other good things. But then there is youth. So I always want to ask, where will the youth with disability fit? Will this youth fit in the youth programs? And when they go there, they're told, no, you have your programs with the disabled. Okay? So such that a disabled youth is lost somewhere in between. As a child, he's a vulnerable child. And so everything that works for the other children does not work for this child. As a youth, there is programs for the youth. And then there's a program for the disabled. But then is there a program for the disabled youth. Okay, so the society in general still stigmatizes and still discriminates against the youth with disabilities.
Okay, so in still the same topic or question, how would you tell us, let me call ourselves the society, how well can we spread the awareness of the needs that people with suffering from disabilities, how should we know their needs? I like to acknowledge our host, our dad. I didn't know if you guys noticed when you were coming up. And he felt like
he wanted to pull.
Yes, he wanted pass this side, or I don't know if I don't know if you guys noticed. Did you notice? We should acknowledge him for that. Please give him a clap. Yeah. Yes. So how can you tell us to try and spread the awareness to understand your needs? Yes.
Many times, when I walk, I find everyone turning to look at me, and when I look at them, they want to look away. Okay? Mm-hmm. And when I take the microphone to talk, they look at me like, she can talk. Yes, the disabled can talk. They can articulate what is bothering them. They can articulate their weaknesses. They can articulate their strength. All you need to do is to, have a rapport with us. Okay? Talk to that child. If you have a child with a disability in your family, talk to them like you talk to those other ones. Okay? If it is time for school, I'll give an example. I have my child, and I have my home, I have my spouse, I have everything. And even if you leave me without a maid, I will do basically everything from cleaning, cooking, and everything, okay? Why? Because my parents did this. The moment they discovered I had a disability, they purposed, they made it very, very intentional to make me as normal and as able as they could. What they did, we were 6 in my family. Each had a day for making beds. I was not exempted. Each had a day for cleaning. When we were still children, we would be made to clean the veranda, the compound. I was not exempted. Each had a time to present things in church. I was not exempted. And so in my family, they always thought, they come to my house, we want food. And my sister said, we want food. We want this kind of food. And they know will handle it well. Why? Because my parents gave me a chance to exert myself, to show what I was capable of doing. Okay? And my parents also acknowledged me. Self-esteem is something huge in any human being, able or disabled, okay? And for a disabled child, it's, that child goes against all odds to make it, okay? Where a child who is able-bodied will do one will disability do it ×2, okay? So what happens is that my parents also instilled in me self-confidence, a lot of self-esteem. And I always make people laugh, I would go to school, and I remember one boy telling me, when I refused him to take something from my desk, he said, kwenda huko, kuna macho makubwa. You know, and I smiled. Instead of crying, I smiled. Why? Because my parents made me know that having big eyes is beautiful. Okay? And they always used to tell me, you are a beautiful girl. And I grew up knowing that I was really beautiful. And where I'm sitting now, you tell me I'm ugly, I laugh at you. Because I don't believe you. I believe what my parents told me. Amen. And therefore, parents, it is upon you to talk to these children. It is your duty. Because if you don't talk to them, the one day is going to talk to them. You remember when we talked about the sexual things, what you should tell our children? Where there's a vacuum, someone will create, something. Okay? So for the society to understand me, it is not me to tell the society. It is the society to give me space, to give me a chance to also acknowledge the fact that I'm a human being. Once you do that, then I'll excel myself. Thank you very much.
Thank you. On to our next question.
Maybe if I can add something.
Okay, yeah, please.
Sometimes I walk into institutions and you look at the way they have designed the institutions. Steep staircases.
Yes.
There is no runway for somebody who is coming in with a wheelchair. So I'm usually keen because naenda mahali